We are actually one big family and international community.
Amazing time here.
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do do do. If you've been here, you know.
Global Peace Change!
And building on to Tanya's insights, I'd like to ask you, as a beauty queen, and of course as an influencer for the continent, a lot of times we've seen that influencers are just posting nice stuff on social media, nice pictures and everything, which is good, but also it would be great if they could use that platform to actually make meaningful change. And it's a lot as well, but also what message you would like to pass to young people so that, you know, everybody can use their social media platforms to influence others for climate action, but also any other cause that they're supporting.
Maybe to introduce myself again, my name is Noni Karaoke. Full name is Muthoni. Maybe that's a tongue twister to some, but Noni will be fine. And I'm Miss Tourism Africa. I am a young career journalist. I am an environmentalist and a climate activist, and also a creative, which is where what I do now as a model and other things I do as a young person to nurture talent come in. So thank you for the question which you've asked, what young people can do, you know, with the platforms that they have. For example, as a beauty queen and the influence that I have. So each and every one of us, we have one thing that someone cannot take away from us, and that's our voice. Our voice is our power. We might not have the finances, we might not have, you know, the influence that we want, but there's something that you have that belongs to you, and that's your voice. And there's so much power in your voice, and you can use that voice to create awareness on different issues that are happening in the society, in your community, and to help find solutions. So maybe to just give a very short backstory of when I started doing my modeling back when I was quite young. And at first years it was, you know, beauty, fame, you get to wear pretty clothes and things like that. Very exciting. But along the way I got to realize that, wait, this was so much big, you know. Once I have a crown and a title, people want to hear what I want to say once I stand up. So I realized this is actually much bigger than me, you know. It was about others, not me. So I realized that this was giving me a platform, a very big platform, to be an agent of change in the community. And that's what I've continued to do. And each and every one of us here, we fall in different categories. We have creatives, we have people in their professional careers and things like that. But wherever you are, that is a voice that you have, that is a platform that you have. And the other advantage of young people, we are in this world, we have gone digital, you know. So they will become a small global village connected by the internet and things like that. So this is a very powerful platform as young people of our generation. It's a gift. Let's look at it as a gift that we've been given. Like, we could be having someone who is live on Instagram right now, and from all the way maybe from Pakistan or South Africa, and someone is following that conversation and they get to hear what she shared, very powerful things. Someone will get to hear of the Ubuntu. So social media is a very powerful tool of our generation, and I would want us to use that. You know, let us, we come from different communities. I come from a very small village back there. there, and you find that the communities face a lot of injustices, climate, political, economic, and all that. And these issues are not represented in the mainstream media. Before an issue gets to the mainstream media, the people have really suffered. So we have to come in. You know, we are here, our whole communities and countries are looking at us. So once you get here, yes, you post the beautiful photos and all, but what do you take back, you know, for the young person down there, for that woman in the local village who doesn't have such a platform? So we have to show up to these opportunities and be very intentional. That is what I'm going to do. As young people, you came to Kenya to this conference. Be very intentional. What did you learn? What skills did you get? Who did you meet? How is it going to make a difference? You know, you have, as you're sitting here, think about that small village, think about that local farmer, think about, you know, those people affected by the earthquake and all these calamities, and what can you do? The little thing you can do. Be very intentional about your space, about your voice. On social media, what are you telling people? You know, when you meet people, what are you telling them? What are you presenting? Remember, the earlier generation has left a big mess, you know, but we have to change that. We owe the future generation a better planet. We have to leave this planet better than we found it. So, yeah, thank you. And again, I love Professor Wangari Maathai and what she said. It's the little thing that you do that will make a difference. So do not wait, as someone said earlier, to be a millionaire to make a difference. It's that little child that you inspire, that woman that you help down there. At the end of it, what you do, what she does, what he does, at the end of the day is going to make a big difference. So let us be very intentional. Let us be the generation that will make a difference. And again, I love a quote by me that I say, it does not matter who you are or where you come from. If you believe in yourself, you are going to be unstoppable. So believe in yourself.
Person problem. It doesn't have a one-size-fits-all solution either. And I feel, in my opinion, given that there is no legal definition or like a legal framework surrounding the definition of, let's say, climate migration, I think in that sense we barely know how to rehabilitate or help communities which have been facing climate change, right? For instance, Bangladesh, right? It's estimated that in a few years' time, with the kind of climate change problems that the country is facing and the floods very often, which hit a terrain and a topography like theirs, it's inevitable that you'll have masses of populations exiting and like exoduses at large in a country like Bangladesh, and it's a small country, mind you. What we do require at this point is sort of interdisciplinary curriculums where, like, I think my friend very rightly pointed out that STEM majors or non-STEM majors require some amount of focus and direction on climate change. We need it to be a part of our education systems, our course modules, everything that we're doing here, like extracurricular activities that we are part of. I think it's really important that we continue building communities this way. And just the last thing that I might want to add is that there is no finish line. Like when I say that our starting lines were the same, no, that's not the same. There are certain countries that have had a certain, they've been ahead in the race, right? There is something I'm going to talk about very quickly. It's an African philosophy, and since we're here in Africa, I might as well want to quote this. It's the philosophy of Ubuntu. And Descartes, who is a very, very famous philosopher, he says that I am because you are, right? And can I just ask people to repeat this after me? So I'm going to say this and just repeat this after me. So I'm going to say I am and just say because you are after me, okay? So I'm going to say I am. Right. I'm going to repeat that. I am. Because you are. Exactly. So we're all here, we're a part of a global community, that's what we're trying to build. What he says, and I'll take an example real quick. Him along with an anthropologist once organized a team activity for a bunch of really poor African kids. What he did is told the kids that this is the finish line, right? He made them race. He made them run a 100-meter race. He said by the end of the race, at the finish line, which is, he demarcated it by putting up a tiny little red flag. He said that place a basket of fruits, like oranges, apples, everything sweet, right? Put like all these tiny goodies in that bag for like the kids. And if whoever, runs and comes up first, gets all the goodies. What was a big surprise to him when he looked at the kids was they were all holding their hands together and they walked together to the finish line. So he was left confused, he was puzzled, he was wondering like, what just happened? Did my social experiment just fail? What essentially I think boils down here as a concept, and that's exactly what we talked about, right? We said, I am because you are. Is that by the end of the day, the kids were also hoping that they get to share all the fruits together. So no one really wins the race, like there are no rabbits and no tortoises in this race. We're all here to reach the finish line, no matter if our starting points were different. But yeah, I think that's just where we're all headed. And I am? Thank you.
I think we have to realize that anyone who has the range can do anything that they can, that they think that they enjoy. Call such big institutions such as the World Bank to stop, doing whatever they're doing in this context, in which they're still, funding these big. So I want really to know what to do, and if dialogue is really the solution, why isn't it working so far? So that's what I want to know. Thank you so much.
All the things, we can fix climate change, it's done. We just need to act. And the thing is, that some people don't want us to act because they lose money. So what can actually be done for my society, for my country? I want to find the political party that supports this views, or create one. So vote for them or represent the interests. So basically when they are at the governmental level, they can represent my country, because there are many European countries that are very sustainable and just follow their lead. But my question was actually about how would you, from your own experience, make youth more civil? How would you make civil society more active? How would you make youth more conscious and do something? As from my experience in Ukraine, everybody united in 2014 when the war started. In 2022, when it was full-scale invasion, everybody started doing something, donating. We didn't think we could do so many things, but we've done. So should something really bad happen, so people act, or you think we can make some artificial, motivation for the youth?
I can answer the short, just do it. But seriously, I propose everybody can self-education. The first, when you have some base, some fundamental knowledge, you can change something. The first, you must change yourself. If you change yourself, you can change everything, every time. Environment yourself, yeah. The first, I think, I propose change yourself, change your mind, change your patterns of your mind. If you person change your patterns of thinking, you can change everything. For example, we have some science discoveries. People didn't know about it's real or unreal, but scientists could did it, yeah, but they didn't know is it works or no, but they only doing it. After that, after some period of time, some unreal will be real. For example, airplane is flying, yeah, but we can come back 500 years ago, people say it's unreal. Or for example, we can come back 100 years ago, people say it's unreal to fly to the moon, but now it's real. The first time we change your mind, we change our patterns. After that, yeah, we can do it.
Should I go next?
Yes, they might be changed, but it's not as impactful. But join organizations, join platforms that give you the opportunity to raise your voice, to represent your communities and things like that. So really be intentional about finding the right platforms, get attached to them so that your voice becomes, it amplifies the bigger voice. We've seen young people leading organizations and movements. We have Greta making a big difference in the world. So and we can see action being taken. We are making those people in power really uncomfortable. There's a shift, and we need to keep on putting pressure. But also something we need to do, even as we become activists and raise our voices. We are not just telling them, oh, you people have destroyed our planet and things like that. We're also offering solutions, because we need to come together. Okay, you people, you have done this and this and this. Stop doing this, but I have a solution. Maybe do this, work with the community and things like that. So let us be very intentional about finding solutions. As we raise our voices, as we become activists and leaders, we are bringing solutions, because again, we don't have time. So we really have to act and bring solutions and work together. We are not throwing stones and telling them, go away, go away. How can we work with you? Include us in those round tables. We have solutions. We've been affected. So it's a partnership. We need a partnership for the planet. Thank you. As I said again, it's about finding your voice and using that voice as your power to power action in your community, in your country, and in the world.
If you have an influence, or even if you have not, try to improve yourself and identify your limits, identify what you don't know, and search. We have the internet, and I don't know how many people use, for example, Quora or Udemy. These are online courses that you can do for free online. And I totally recommend checking them out. It's free, and it's free knowledge that you can get. I was reading some study that at least in Africa is one of the least represented in the online courses. And this is a missed opportunity, because you have courses from Harvard, from MIT, from a lot of the top universities in the world that you can participate for free, and you can get knowledge on the subjects that interest you. So that would be the first. Try to see, and also TEDx, like watch TEDx or the things that exist. TEDx are short talks, 10-15 minutes, or TED directly, and try to see what other people are thinking, what ideas do they have, and see what they're doing, and see how you can adapt it to the local context. And also, what I may recommend, you are a single person. How much can we do as a single person? Build a community, build something greater than yourself. We have the idea of crowdfunding or crowdsourcing, where you are trying to do something. There is a community called OpenStreetMap, for example, where we have like 10 million people that are creating a free and open source map of the world. This is something powerful that can be used in anywhere in the world, and you can use it to map. For example, you have some problems in your city, or like I was reading on I forgot the name, the data of the president, I was reading on her Instagram, there was a half scandal because if she's paid by public money or not, she's saying that she's not, and she had a lot of comments. And somebody was saying that they are from a small village in Kenya, where the closest school is 10 kilometers and they need to walk 10 kilometers. This is something that if, for example, you decide, okay, let's map all of the school in Kenya, then you can see directly which are the areas where you don't have schools or you don't have access to different facilities that would be useful. So yeah, there is a lot of tools online and a lot of things that you can do, and yeah, use the internet. Is free. Most of the things you can find are free, and you can do much more by creating a community.
Government have tried their best to suppress our voices, so no issue with mic. Anyways, my question would be to Noni. Like for example, when we talk about climate action, we know there is an SDG called SDG 13 climate action. And when we devised these SDGs, we had a timeline in our mind that was 2030. And now we are in 2023, 7 years down the line. What do you think, that are we on the right track? Because there are some statistics that have been released by UN, like for example, 700 million Africans would be displaced because of high water level stress. And also, if you see the precedents, they are not very encouraging, because 500,000 Africans have died because of just one hazard, that's drought. So what do you think, like, or these organizations would just come up with a new number, like they would say 2040 sounds more fun, 2040 rather than 2030.
Great question, and I would even myself ask that question. I even ask myself that question every now and then, because with the climate conversations and spaces, we've been having all these figures and everything, and right now we are having, people rushing into the climate space because that's where the money is right now. This is a global crisis, so that's where the money is. But you forget that this is the reality for communities. This is the reality for that woman who has to walk for kilometers under the scorching sun looking for water to drink. Now we've not counted about, the other domestic uses for the water and all that. So at this point, even farming is not a priority, which is where they get the food. They want for drinking, And then here comes someone who's coming up with a plan, to get quick money and contribute, to this space. So that is a very good question. And I think we've been having a lot of big talks, big figures, big promises, and all. I'll say sometimes it might look like it's greenwashing, and false hope for the people. And what I want to say is that we are losing our core value as humans, which is humanity. Because if I really care about that local farmer down there, I would not use that opportunity to exploit them, I would use that opportunity to really make a difference. So what I want to appeal to the world leaders and the people in power, please don't focus on the profits, focus on the people, people not profit, money, meaning, thank you. Meaning over money, that is what we tell them. Because mine is coming from a human appeal, a humble appeal, because I am one of these affected communities. I have first-hand experience, of the climate crisis, the injustices that come along, to these communities. So I want the world leaders to put themselves in the shoes of these communities, really. We're having a lot of big talks, and by 2030, as we are getting towards 2030, we start thinking, maybe 2040 is a better number of. So let's not just see this as figures and a game. People's lives are depending on those decisions made and around on those round tables, So let us be realistic and let us act act now. And we don't, yes, I could make a difference by maybe advocating for climate awareness and things like that, but the government and the big people, the big industry policy makers, for example, the people in the gas and oil, the fossil fuels, that is where the big change needs to happen. You could go sustainable on your clothing, on your food, I could do something, but it's a small percentage really. There are the people who are the industry, who are driving the industry, who can make that big change. For example, we transition to clean energy and things like that, which is what is really affecting like our ozone layer and things like that. We have to start with that big change, and we need the action now. We need this big bank and financial institutions to stop funding things that are affecting our environment, you know, fossil fuel industry, and that's where the big change needs to happen. And then at the end of it all, then your little thing and her little thing is going to make a difference. So we really need #ACT NOW.
Thank you.
We are actually one big family and international community.
I had an amazing time here.
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do do do. If you've been here, you know.